Hi, my name is Wayne Huell. I'm an MBA student at California Intercontinental University, and I'll be covering today Porter's Five Forces analysis involving Spectrum Pharmaceuticals.
Knowing your competition and how their products, services, and marketing strategies affect you is critical to a company to survive. One way to analyze your competition and understand your standing in your industry is using Porter's Five Forces model, which was initially developed by Harvard Business School's Michael E. Porter in 1979. And the Five Forces model looks at five specific factors that determine whether or not a business can be profitable compared to other companies in the industry. Spectrum Pharmaceuticals is a biopharmaceutical company that focuses on acquiring, developing, and commercializing novel and targeted drug products. Spectrum has a strong record for in-licensing and acquiring differentiated drugs, clinical development, and Spectrum has a proven record of success. We will look at this company and the pharma industry using Porter's Five Forces. So let's dive a little deeper into Porter's Five Forces. Porter's Five Forces is a framework for analyzing a company's competitive environment. Understanding the competitive forces and their underlying causes reveals the industry's current profitability while providing a background for anticipating and influencing competition and profitability over time. The number and power of a company's competitive rivals, potential new market entrants, suppliers, customers, and substitute products influence a customer's profitability. The Five Forces analysis can be used to guide business strategy to increase competitive advantage. A short context of the Five Forces is competition in the industry, potential of new entrants, power of suppliers, power of customers, threat of substitute products. I will discuss these in more detail and how they affect Spectrum Pharmaceuticals. So the effect on Spectrum Pharmaceuticals would be the study looks at competitive factors that affect their market and new competitors. And the five factors are a particular interest for Spectrum Pharmaceuticals because they are in a niche market. And also there's massive payouts offered in the pharmaceutical sector that contribute to the constant influx of new companies. This force examines how intense the competition is in the marketplace. It causes a rivalry competition, and it becomes high when just a few businesses sell a product or service, when the industry is growing, and when consumers can easily switch to a competitor's offerings for little cost. When rivalry competition is high, it could cause advertising and price wars to ensue, which hurts a business's bottom line. Here are some thoughts that will contribute to competition in the pharma industry. The massive payouts offered in the pharmaceutical sector contribute to the constant influx of new companies. These smaller companies pose no significant threat to big pharmaceutical companies. There is intense competition in the industry. Spectrum is in a niche market dealing with oncology medications, which helps them to fend off the competition. Spectrum Pharmaceuticals' choice is to acquire novel drugs for oncology use. The primary structure of Spectrum Pharmaceuticals is to choose expansion through acquisitions of targeted drug products and to expand strategically by commercializing those targeted drug choices. This force considers how easy or difficult it is for competitors to join the marketplace. The easier it is for a new competitor to gain entry, the greater the risk of an established business market being depleted. Barriers to entry include absolute cost advantages, access to inputs, economies of scale, and strong brand identity. Spectrum's unique strategy gives them a competitive advantage over other like-sized customers because of their company's unique product offerings. Commodity goods in the pharmaceutical sector are the raw materials for producing medicines from various channels. Suppliers typically supply the supplier with several items, which reduces demand for rare goods and exclusive machinery. Pharmacies depend on their sales margins and have no desire to deliver the lowest possible cost for customers. This force analyzes how much power a business's supplier has and how much control it has over the potential to raise its prices. It is also assesses the number of suppliers of raw materials and other available resources. The fewer suppliers there are, the more power they have. Businesses are in better position when there are multiple suppliers. This force studies how easy it is for consumers to switch from a business, product, or service to a competitor. It examines the number of competitors, how their prices and quality compare to the company discussed, and how much of a profit these competitors are earning, determining if they can lower their costs even more. The threat of substitutes is done by switching costs, both immediate and long-term, as well as consumers' inclination to change. Consumers switch from one business product to another one, and they also like low-cost drugs, and changing prices is based on the consumer's demand. So there may be some price fluctuation, which causes a threat to Spectrum Pharmaceuticals. This force examines the power of the consumer and their effect on pricing and quality. Consumers have power when they are fewer in number, but there are plentiful sellers and it's easy for consumers to switch. Spectrum is in a niche market, which helps them to avoid most of these concerns. Conversely, buying power is low when consumers purchase products in small amounts and the seller's product is very different from that of its competitors. Spectrum Pharmaceuticals will strive to grow by bringing new and higher quality drugs to the market that treat cancer. This niche market can be very profitable as they continue to commercialize the targeted medicines. This could be an excellent way for Spectrum Pharmaceuticals to expand in this area. It may be necessary to expand into other pharma-related markets to sustain in the long run. They practice strong customer relationships and the depth of management traction is solid. Spectrum Pharmaceuticals' strategic goals include a culture of collaboration, creativity, and passion among the team members. It helps them have the most powerful competitive advantage by providing quality, innovation, and ethical practices. Thank you all for listening to watching and listening to this presentation. I appreciate it and hope you learned something from my studies. Thank you.